Great communication begins with connection. Oprah Winfrey. One of the most important things you can do with multilingual families and all families is to build a relationship with them, create a connection so that whether you're communicating in English or another language, you already have a relationship. We have 93 different languages that are spoken in Bloomington Public Schools, and our top languages are Spanish, Somali, and Vietnamese. And there are 1,200 students who are identified as English learners, but there are many more households where one or more family members speak a language other than English. So while we do translate documents and have bilingual interpreters, they often only cover our top languages, and we're trying to find better ways to communicate with all of our families. The first thing at the beginning of the year is to find out a multilingual family's preferred method of communication. Phone calls using Language Bank, which we'll talk more about later, are one great way to do it. Meeting parents, if possible, difficult this year with COVID, are another way to find out if they want emails or texts or phone calls. Talking with stakeholders also helps. The EL teachers are great resources in your building. The secretary, principal, cultural liaisons especially, and even siblings will help you figure out the best way to talk to families. Keeping a school level spreadsheet would be a good idea. That's something that your administrators could consider, because then everyone will know the language the parents want to communicate in and how they want that communication and whether they prefer an interpreter. We are getting better at tracking that information on Infinite Campus and Hub, but it's still not completely up to date. So a spreadsheet in the meantime would be a great idea. Making sure families have your information for communication. Your information, how to call the school, things that they can do at home, really helpful. And you can do it in a way where it doesn't always have to be translated because it's visual and easy to understand. This is an example of an elementary teacher, but things that work at elementary also work very well at high school. Another document that was created as a way to kind of build relationship with families is a very simple sheet where they have all the phone calls they need in order to contact the building. And that includes a cultural liaison and transportation. So these are our district approved communication platforms. We are adopting the Remind app, which there will be more PD around later. So it has texting and phone call app capabilities, which is great for teachers who don't always want to share their personal phone number, but want to communicate with families via text, because that is how people are communicating now. Email with translation. If you keep it simple, you can use some translations with Google. First, you want to check with the parents and see if that's the kind of communication that they want, though. The Language Bank, we will get to that later. It's a way to call parents and have a three-way phone call with an interpreter. And then the language line at OEE. Multilingual staff man this line, and parents can call them and they can call parents in Spanish, Vietnamese, and Somali if they have questions. Finally, Seesaw has messaging that has translation capabilities. So your next activity, you're going to read over the multilingual family communication document that's linked on this course. And with your team, identify one resource that you are interested in learning more about.